If we are going to be the light of the world, then listen, as a church, we're going to create environments so that anybody can walk in here and be comfortable, yet they're going to be challenged. That if they're going to find life, they need to find it in Jesus Christ. If we're going to be the change that God originally set up, He set up the greatest organization on planet Earth, which is the church. If we're going to operate and move in God's Spirit, then we need to see, what can we do to reach our world? What are we going to do to be that light to the world? As everything might seem like it's crumbling around us, we are what's preserving this nation. We are what's preserving this world. And so as a church, we have great opportunity. We have great opportunity. Now, today, I kind of wanted to just set it up, because next week, we're actually going to talk about how can we practically apply this to our lives. How can you be the change? What can you do to actually be the light? And so we're going to look at that next week. But today what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you that it's in faith through Christ alone. There's nothing else that you need to do in order to be a part of the church. But then after you put your faith in Christ, then it's about following Jesus. It's about living for Him. And God says, you know what? Too many people are carrying so much stuff. And I know that there's some of you in here today, and man, sometimes we like to carry our stuff. We like to carry so much stuff. But God's saying, you should check that at the door. You know, you need to leave it here today. Because Jesus is the real change. The church is the real change. I'm going to have you all stand with me as we close this down. Now, at the end of this business meeting here in Acts chapter 15, after everyone had kind of said their piece, said some things, this one guy stood up by the name of James. Now, do y'all know why James was so important? Because he was the brother of Jesus. And like, how many of y'all know how hard would it be for your brother to convince you that he's the Son of God? Like, you know, like you're doing some crazy cool stuff, but you are not the Son of God. You know, that's some cool tricks that you're doing. Yeah, you rose from the dead, but you are not the Son of God. There is no way. You're my kid brother. And it took a while for James to actually become a follower of Christ. But James, the brother of Jesus, stands up. Like that is crazy evidence right there. That James, his own brother, was like, we need to follow Jesus. And what James does is he stands up and he tells the people, listen, you got it all wrong. We need to live for Christ. We need to obey His laws. We need to run after Him and what He's taught us to do. The life that He lived is the life that we need to live as well. If we are going to be the change, listen, how many of y'all want to be the change that this world needs? How many of y'all want our economy to turn around? How many of you want this nation to turn around? How many of you want this world to know the real light, the real change with so much that is going on? God said, I want to use you. God said, you're going to be my ambassador. You're going to be the light to the world. You're the one that I want to use. God could have said, these people are all messed up. That Pastor Herb, he's got some issues. But what God is saying is, regardless of our issues, regardless of how messed up we are, God is saying, I want to use you. I want to do great things in your life. Listen, my prayer, you know what my prayer is? My prayer is, God, I want to see you move in my life like I've never seen you before. I don't just want to read about it. I want to see it happen in my lifetime. I want my children to see it by the way that I live with Sandra, by the life that I live. And so, guys, listen, we need to ask ourselves, if God has called us to be the change, how are we doing that? How are we living that out? Because God is saying, if you will get a hold of this, God's saying, I got your back. And if God is for us, who can be against us? Let's bow our heads in prayer. God, I thank you.